All right, we are going to make, we're going to turn our Savvy Minerals, what is this, honey? Eyeshadow. We're going to turn it, and I can't even read what flavor it is, sorry. We're going to turn it into a compressed powder, is that what it's?
Yeah, compressed powder.
Okay, we're going to call it that. So the first thing you do is take whichever one you want.
Why would we want it compressed?
So every time my wife uses this, we have little dust fairies that come around our house and leave little bits of glitter makeup.
All over
Not
my
all the time,
dresser.
but it does happen. And so to make that a little bit easier, we're going to change this and make it into a compressed powder so that actually she can just use a brush or something to apply it. And when she opens it up, it isn't this little poof of magic that provides fairy dust everywhere. So we've taken the lid off. The next step is to get off the little sifter here. And I've actually already pried it off. If you have to, you can use a sharp knife. I just used my nail and got under there and carefully worked around it. So the next thing I need to do is I need to take the powder from that. And you can take this powder and drop it into a foil or something else if you need to. I'm actually going to just take it, turn it right over, and put it right back in the container. And I'm not going to use this sifter anymore, sorry. I'm not going to use the sifter anymore, so I'm going to just set it aside.
Hey,
it's all empty. Okay, so now that that is set aside, and some people recommend to do this in increments, like you might start with just a really tiny bit and pack it. But if you do that, I'm not exactly sure. I think you'll have to end up mixing it in a separate container, drop it in here, and then pack it down. I'm just going to do it all together. You can see about how much is in there.
So I've been using that eyeshadow literally for almost 2 years. I bought it at convention when they did the Savvy. So it lasts forever. I'm just kind of not wanting the powder everywhere. I'm kind of messy.
So if you see how that's done, now we're going to take our fancy refreshing toner.
Yep. Sorry,
And
the label's off.
This is going
art
to be
toner.
This is I think it says art toner right there. This
Yep,
is going to be
there
kind
we
of
go.
funny because there's really no prescribed recipe. You have to kind of just figure it out. So
Which is not what my husband loves.
this is terrible for me, and I'll probably end up crying tonight because it's not going to turn out how I expect it to.
It's not exact.
But the secret is don't put too much in to start with. It's always okay to add some more, but once you get too much in there, you can't separate the toner from this stuff, but you can always add more. So I'm going to start with, and this isn't a dropper. I'd recommend if you're really nervous about this, actually getting a dropper and using a dropper to put this in. I'm going to go ahead and there's a drop, and there's another couple drops. Okay, so you can kind of see in there how much is in there. And now I'm going to take a toothpick. You could really use anything small, and I'm just going to start moving this around. And you're going to see it starting to get clumpy in some places. What you don't want is you don't want it to form a paste. If it's formed a paste, or you can see standing water, that's too much. These clumps are good, but I need to make sure that everything has clumps and that there's not powder in there. So I think that there's just a little bit too much powder in this one. I'm going to see if I can work magic and just put in one small little drop, because you can see that there's still some powder. So, okay, everyone hold your breath. Pray that I don't dump the whole entire thing in there. Yeah, this is where I should be using a dropper. And survey says 1 drop. Okay.
So I'm having my husband do this because he did one for Bryn last night because she didn't like the powder. So I said, you got to do a video for everyone and show them. So Kevin doesn't use the makeup, I do.
So if you see, there's not really like a mud, but it's all pretty much clumpy. I think that this is the right consistency, and I can even start like trying to chop those apart, and they're almost like more of a clump versus like a mud. So I think that that's good. So I'm going to now take and scrape off my toothpick.
So that was about 4 drops, but I've been using that eyeshadow for about almost 2 years.
Okay, so you can see that there's really not too much, there's really no powder in there.
Yeah.
So now the next secret is to take a regular paper towel. You can use
Wax paper, I thought, or parchment paper.
You probably could.
This is a video we
I
looked
saw
from
something
on YouTube.
online to use wax or paper towels, so we're going to use it. And you want to find a lid of something, and this, I'm improvising here. This is lemon. This is Vitality lemon. You can drink this. And I'm hoping that this is going to fit just right. It looks like it does fit just right, so I'm just going to put the paper towel down. I'm going to kind of just get that stuff in the middle, put the paper towel down, and voila. Smash that down. And
Hey,
I'll just kind of
Kathy.
move it around, make sure I've smashed it everywhere. You can kind of see, I do lose a little bit of color on my paper towel, but you can see here that I've got a nice firm,
I'm so excited. Thank you.
and I think that that's it. And now if I turn it over, nothing comes out. So when Sonia opens up her makeup next time,
Now I won't have
She
powder
won't have
and
a
glitter
proof.
all over my dresser because I'm not quite a neat person with makeup. So there you have it. You can totally make all your powder eyeshadows, your foundations, your blushes with this using the Art Toner and
Barbara Savvy
and that's
Metals.
it. Easy.